These are daily affirmations you can speak over yourself from the book Awaken the Giant Within by Tony Robbins. Part 1. Unleash Your Power. Chapter 1. Dreams of Destiny. I was born with a dream planted deep inside me, and I refuse to let the noise of life bury it. Today I choose to remember what I was made for. I am not defined by the routines that have dulled my vision. I am defined by the destiny I am walking toward, one courageous decision at a time. The giant inside me is waking up. I am done settling for less than what I know is possible. I am committed to the life I was designed to live. I give myself permission to dream again, boldly, specifically, and without apology. My dreams are not distractions, they are directions. Chapter 2. Decisions, the pathway to power. Every area of my life is a reflection of a decision I have made. So today I decide differently, and I decide better. I am not a product of my circumstances. I am the product of my decisions, and I choose this moment to make a new one. I am committed, not just interested. There is a difference, and I live on the committed side of that line. I make decisions quickly, and I adjust as I go. Indecision costs me more than any mistake ever could. Chapter 3. The force that shapes your life. I no longer allow pain and fear to make my decisions. I consciously direct my focus towards what I want, not what I dread. I am the one who assigns meaning to the events of my life. I choose meanings that empower me, move me forward, and honor who I am becoming. Pleasure and purpose are not opposites. I align them, I make the right things feel right, and I make the wrong things feel costly. Chapter 4. Belief systems. The power to create and the power to destroy. I examine every belief I carry. The ones that limit me, I release. The ones that expand me, I reinforce with everything I have. My beliefs are not facts, they are choices. And today I choose beliefs that open doors instead of closing them. I have the power to create certainty in myself. I build it deliberately with evidence, with action, and with the full force of my conviction. I trade every limiting belief for an empowering one. What I once thought was a ceiling is actually a floor I have not yet stood on. Chapter 5. Can change happen in an instant? Change does not require years of suffering. It requires one genuine decision, fully committed, in a single moment. I make that decision now. I do not wait for the right conditions to change. I create the conditions by changing. The transformation starts in this breath, this thought, this choice. Every lasting change in my life has begun with a moment of clarity. I seek that clarity daily, and I act on it immediately. Chapter 6. How to change anything in your life. The science of neuro-associative conditioning. I am conditioning myself for success. Every day I reinforce the patterns, habits, and responses that move me toward the life I was made for. I link massive pleasure to the actions that serve my destiny, and I link discomfort to the patterns that have held me back. My nervous system works for me now. I do not rely on willpower alone. I build systems, rituals, and environments that make my best self the path of least resistance. Chapter 7. How to get what you really want. I know what I truly want, not just what I think I should want. I am honest with myself about my deepest desires, and I pursue them without shame. I close the gap between where I am and where I am going by getting crystal clear on the outcome and taking the next immediate step. My wants are not selfish, they are signals. They point me toward my purpose, and I follow them with faith and full effort. Chapter 8. Questions are the answer. The quality of my life is determined by the quality of the questions I ask. So I ask better questions, and I expect better answers. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? I ask, what is this teaching me, and how can I use it? That one shift changes everything. I am a person who seeks solutions. Every challenge I face, I meet with a question that opens a door rather than a complaint that closes one. I ask myself every day, what am I grateful for? What am I excited about? What am I committed to? These questions set the direction of my life. Chapter 9. The vocabulary of ultimate success. I speak life over myself. The words I use shape how I feel, and how I feel shapes what I do. So I choose my words like they matter, because they do. I replace words that shrink me with words that expand me. I am not stressed, I am in demand. I am not failing, I am learning. My vocabulary is a tool for transformation. I wield it deliberately, using language that builds confidence, attracts possibility, and honors the person I am becoming. Chapter 10. Destroy the blocks, break down the wall, the power of life metaphors. I change the metaphors I live by. I am not carrying the weight of the world. I am building something worth carrying. My story changes when my language changes. The stories I tell myself about my life are not fixed. I am the author, and I rewrite the ones that no longer serve the purpose I am becoming. I consciously choose empowering metaphors that cast me as a capable, resilient, and full of possibility, because that is exactly what I am. Chapter 11. The 10 Emotions of Power. My emotions are not enemies to be suppressed. They are messengers to be understood. I listen to them, decode them, and direct them toward growth. I cultivate the emotions that fuel my best performance: love, gratitude, curiosity, confidence, passion, and joy. I feed these daily. I am not at the mercy of my feelings. I know how to shift my state, change my psychology, change my physiology, and move the paralysis to power in a matter of moments. Negative emotions are signals, not sentences. When they arise, I ask what they are telling me, and then I act on the message rather than suffer in the feeling. Chapter 12. The Magnificent Obsession. Creating a compelling future. I have a compelling future that pulls me forward every single day. It is specific, vivid, and deeply meaningful, and it will not let me stay small. I set goals that are bigger than my comfort zone, not to stress myself out, but to give myself something worthy of growing into. The seeds I plant in my mind today are the harvest I will walk into tomorrow. I plant on purpose, with intention, and with total commitment to the outcome. Direction matters more than speed. I am aimed at the right target, moving forward and trusting the compound effect of daily, faithful action. Chapter 13. The 10-Day Mental Challenge. I take full ownership of my mental and emotional state for 10 days, and for the rest of my life, I refuse to dwell in unresourceful thinking. Every time a negative pattern arises, I interrupt it, redirect it, and replace it with something that serves my growth. I am training my mind like an athlete trains a body. I am consistent. I do not wait for a motivation to begin. I begin, and the motivation follows. Discipline today is the gift I give to my future self. Part 2. Taking Control. The Master System. Chapter 14. Ultimate Influence. Your Master System. I understand my own master system, what I focus on, what things mean to me, and what actions I must take. I use this self-knowledge to get results. I am not a mystery to myself. I study how I work, I identify what drives me, and I align my environment with who I intend to become. I have ultimate influence over my own life because I control the inputs, my focus, my beliefs, my standards, and my actions. Chapter 15. Life Values. Your personal compass. I know what I value most, and I organize my life around those values. My actions align with my deepest values. I am unstoppable. I have clarified what truly matters to me. I no longer chase what the world says I should want. I pursue what my soul knows is real. My values are my compass. When I feel lost, I return to them. When I feel conflicted, I let them lead. They never lie to me. I live by my values every day, not just when it is convenient. That consistency is what builds a character worth having and a life worth living. Chapter 16. Rules. If you're not happy, here's why. I examine the rules I have set for happiness, and I make them easier to meet. I deserve to feel good, and I build a life that delivers that regularly. I stop making my joy conditional on things outside my control. I create inner standards that I can meet today, right now, with whatever I have. I communicate my rules clearly, compassionately to the people I love. Unexpressed expectations are the root of most pain in relationships. I choose clarity. Chapter 17. References. The Fabric of Life. Every experience I have ever had, every trial, every triumph, every lesson is a reference point that makes me stronger, wiser, and more capable. I actively seek new experiences that expand my reference library. The more I have lived through, the more I know I can handle. I reframe the painful chapters of my story as references for resilience, not evidence of defeat. They are proof that I survived and that I can thrive. Chapter 18. Identity, the key to expansion. I choose my identity with intention. I am not who I used to be. I am who I have decided to become, and I step fully into that person today. I commit my new identity publicly and privately. I tell myself the new story until it becomes the only story. I act it, breathe it, and live it. My identity is not a cage, it is a launching pad. I hold it loosely enough to grow and firmly enough to stay grounded in my values. I am a person who follows through, a person of integrity, a person who keeps their word to themselves. That is who I am, and I live it accordingly. Part 3. The 7 days to shape your life. Chapter 19. Day 1. Emotional destiny, the only true success. I take full ownership of my emotional life. No one outside of me is responsible for how I feel, and no one outside of me can take my peace away without my permission. I choose the emotional state I want to live in, and then I take the physical and mental actions necessary to inhabit it fully. My emotional mastery is my greatest achievement. A person who controls their inner world can navigate any outer circumstance with grace and power. I am not a victim of my emotions. I am their master. I feel them, I direct them, and I use them as fuel for the life I am building. Chapter 20. Day 2. Physical destiny, prison of pain or palace of pleasure. My body is the instrument through which I live my purpose. I treat it with the discipline and devotion it deserves. I move it with energy and intention. I nourish my body well. I rest without guilt. I am building a physical foundation that will carry me through a long and powerful life. The way I use my body shapes the way I feel about myself. So I stand tall, breathe deeply, and move with the confidence of someone who has already won. Chapter 21. Day 3. Relationship destiny, the place to share and care. I invest in my relationships with the same energy and intentionality I bring to my greatest goals. The people in my life are not secondary, they are central. I am a giver in my relationships. I show up fully, listen deeply, speak honestly, and love without keeping score. I surround myself with people who challenge me, believe in me, and make me better. And I do the same for them. The quality of my relationships is a direct reflection of the quality of who I am. So I keep growing, not just for myself, but for every person I love. Chapter 22, Day 4. Financial destiny, small steps to a large fortune. I take control of my financial life today. Not someday, today. Small, consistent steps, compounded over time, become extraordinary results. I spend less than I earn. I invest the daily difference wisely. I give generously, and these three commitments are the architecture of financial freedom. My relationship with money is healthy, intentional, and grounded in gratitude. Money is a tool for contribution, and I steward it well. Chapter 23, Day 5. Be impeccable, your code of conduct. I live by a code. I have decided who I am, what I stand for, and how I will behave, and I hold myself to that standard even when no one is watching. My integrity is not negotiable. It is the foundation on which everything else I build will either stand or fall. I protect it fiercely. I am impeccable with my word, my time, my commitments, and my character. This is not about perfection. It is about consistent, intentional effort to be my best. When I fall short of my code, I acknowledge it, correct it, and recommit without shame, without excuse, and without giving up on myself. Chapter 24, Day 6. Master your time and your life. Time is my most irreplaceable resource. I use it with intention, protect it from what does not matter, and I invest it in what does. I am not busy for the sake of being busy. I am productive in the direction of my purpose. There is a profound difference, and I live on the right side of it. I design my days rather than react to them. My schedule reflects my values. My calendar is a picture of who I truly am and what I truly care about. Chapter 25, Day 7. Rest and play. Even God took one day off. Rest is not a reward I earn. It is a rhythm I need. I honor the Sabbath principle because my best work comes from a rested and restored soul. I give myself permission to play, to laugh, and to be fully present in moments of joy. These are not indulgences, they are fuel. I am a whole person, not just a producer, and the most sustainable version of me is one who works hard, rests deeply, and celebrates freely. Part 4, A Lesson in Destiny. Chapter 26, The Ultimate Challenge, What One Person Can Do. I am one person, and one person is enough to change the direct trajectory of a family, a community, a generation. I do not underestimate the weight of my influence. My transformation is not just for me. Every time I rise, I give someone else permission to rise. My life is a sermon, and I am preaching it daily. I do not wait for someone else to solve the problems I see. I am the contribution the world needs, and I show up to give it fully, freely, and faithfully. I was put here on purpose, for a purpose, and I will not leave this world without having given everything I came here to give. I hope this blesses you. Grace and peace.